What is up, my brothers and sisters, my agents of respect? It's your boy Trey Johnson back with another episode of the No Disrespect But podcast. And of course, we have a new look today, but please don't get used to it. We are just gracious enough to have my boy Ace, co-host of the Run and Gun podcast, who allowed us to use his platform today. Also joining me is Logan Graffia from the Sports Etouffee podcast, and my main man Calvin from the AC podcast, also representing Northwest Missouri State. So cheer for those boys if y'all want to watch some good football this year. But reason why I got these guys together is it's NFL draft season, and it wouldn't be right if we didn't do a mock draft. And last year, your boy did it by himself, and it was cool, but kind of boring. And in this day and age, when you create or you get these colleagues in the business, man, you want to try to get everybody together and just have fun with it. And so I got these three guys with me, and we kind of split things through, and really excited to have them on. And we're gonna have a good time with this draft. Before we kind of get started, man, y'all want to just say hey to the folks?
Hey, folks.
What's up, y'all? I'm gonna do a nasty plug right now. AC podcast, check it out. It's brand new. We getting everything, situated and all that. But we gonna be straight. We gonna get some great content for y'all. We gonna collab with these guys too. Don't worry. But yeah, man. What's up? What's up, y'all? Good to be back. Yeah, that's it for me.
What's going on, y'all? It's Ace from the Run and Gun. Gonna be doing another. I think we're doing ours tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
Live stream. So we always live stream 8 o'clock. Do HBCU, NFL, college football, college basketball. The goodies all around. But yeah, we're gonna do a link up. There's a full blown collab with 4 different podcasts right now. I think this is the first time I've done this, so it's gonna be a fun time for us. We're gonna have some fun with this podcast. Shout out Trey for putting this all together. It's gonna be a great time. Let's go, guys.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Logan Graffia. I host the Sports Etouffee podcast down here in Southern Louisiana. Cover a wide variety of Louisiana sports, and draft season's my favorite time of year, so I'm happy to be a part of this.
All right, awesome, man. And just so for the fans know, this is how we doing it, man. So before we kind of got everything started, we did kind of like a simulator to see what draft order we got. And Logan got the first overall pick. Ace got second. I got third. And Calvin got fourth. And so we're going to be alternating in that way. There are no trades. There are no trades. This is a mock draft. I do not need y'all in the comments saying, well, that player is not going to really be there, or they would never do this. You don't know. This is our war room. We're going to do things our way, and you just have to deal with it. Just make sure y'all keep that shit respectful. Now, on the clock, starting with the Chicago Bears, we have Logan Graffia in his war room.
This is an easy pick. I don't think I really need no explanation. The first overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams. No explanation needed. I mean, you trade away Justin Fields, you get your quarterback, done and done.
I thought you was going to go Jaden Daniels. I ain't going to lie to you, though.
Actually, I'm gonna keep Jaden from going to the GM of the Washington Commanders. I believe that with Dan Quinn as our head coach. Oh my god, I'm so stupid right now. And Cliff Kingsbury as our OC. I think the talent that a dude from UNC. I know the last guy to go number 2 from UNC didn't work out, but this time I think when you watch that guy play, man, it's hard to pass that up. I'll be real. He just plays different. Taking Drake May too.
Okay.
Oh.
And the big
Spicing it up.
I'm on the board with New England Patriots, and I know folks would think that this was an easy decision for me to just kind of go with quarterback. Obviously, haven't really had a consistent quarterback since Tom Brady left to go to Tampa Bay. Had Cam Newton for a year, drafted Mac Jones the year after that. He never panned out, ended up trading him for a bag of chips to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, I really wanted to go, offensive line here, maybe pass catcher, because they didn't address those positions in free agency. But I mean, you just can't pass it up with the third overall pick. We're taking Jaden Daniels out of LSU.
Bro, they're making me scroll for this one. That's pathetic. From PFF 721, but yeah.
In all honesty, I'm sorry, in all honesty, and Logan to tell you, I said I would have to see Jaden Daniels go top 5 to truly believe it. I think it's one of those things where we're putting too much on the quarterback class, but I got to go with what the signs are pointing to. I know the Patriots need a quarterback; they don't have one, and why not?
Also took Drake May because I mean we saw Deshaun ball out. We saw he really did ball. He should have won number 2, but Sean didn't go first up. Lamar didn't go first up. Just sticking with how the NFL works.
Is what it is. But sorry, Calvin. Sorry, GM of the Cardinals. You're on the clock.
No, that helps me out though, because really to me, the Cardinals are in a funny spot. I feel like they don't necessarily need to pick at 4, but since we ain't trading, it's tough. I like Malik Neighbors, but you know what? I was gonna say Marvin Harrison, but you know what? We're gonna change it up. I like Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors has a little bit higher upside than Marvin Harrison. So guess what? Cardinals, we picking Malik Neighbors.
I see.
Alrighty, so now I'm back on the clock, and in my opinion, the Cardinals just did something that was unexpected, taking Malik Neighbors instead of Marvin Harrison Jr. So you kind of can't go wrong with the next option, which is Marvin Harrison Jr. So with the 5th overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Marvin Harrison Jr. You get a replacement for Keenan Allen in the building right away. Feels a need. So I think that's going to be the pick.
All right, with the Giants on the board. See, this is where it gets interesting. Because if Neighbors was there at 6, I was taking him. But since Calvin decided to switch it up on me, I'm going to give... You know what? I had him 3rd. Well, he really shouldn't go this high. But based off what some odds are saying, Vegas never lies most of the time. We're spicing it up in this draft. The reach of the draft right now, going J.J. McCarthy at 6.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I'm spicy today.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We doing
so
Danny
sorry,
Dimes like
Ashclaws, bro.
that?
Danny Dimes off a paycheck too.
Bro. I'm sorry, Ashclaws.
Okay.
Friend, Mamoot on Twitter, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But the Giants are so
Okay.
stupid, man. I'm swear to God. I'm just saying what I think they might do. If Neighbors was there at 6, I think Neighbors is the pick. But since he's not, they go quarterback, get their guy for the future. Let him sit for a minute behind Jones.
All right. Okay. Okay. I was not ready. I was not ready for that. Was not ready for that. That's the type of picks that have the lead cussing, man. But I guess now with the Tigers on the board, I mean, this one is pretty easy. I mean, they just lost their left tackle. They actually released him, Andre Dillard, 21st ranked offensive line last year's bad against the blitz. Need to protect Will Levis. I'm going with the best tackle in his draft, Joe Alt from Notre Dame. Come on down to the Tennessee Titans, sir. You know, can I mention it's a new era for the Tennessee Titans. It's all about Will Levis and giving him the best opportunity to succeed. And to do that, you got to protect him. So I think Alt and his ability and what he's shown, he'll be able to do that right away for the Tennessee Titans.
So Falcons up next. I really hate that I got this pick as a Saints fan, but I could really do them real dirty right now, but I ain't gonna do that for the sake of the spirit of draft or whatever. But you know, the Falcons, they went offensive heavy last couple of drafts. I feel like with them investing in Kirk Cousins, they really like their offense. So I don't really see them going offense here, and then with Ryan Nielsen leaving and obviously, you know, getting a new coach and all that, I think defense might be the way to go here. So their D-line is a little lackluster. So I know Trey go like this one. Let's go get Dallas Turner.
You know what? Fine. Fine.
Gotta go with the best.
Let me update the ticker now. I gotta update this ticker before we.
Yeah, you're good.
Or I'll take it off while Logan makes his pick.
All right, so Bears back on the clock, second pick, and I mean you want to put weapons around Caleb Williams, and you want to get him another weapon that he can throw the ball to. Brock Bowers is on the board. Yes, that's kind of attractive, but Romeo Aduze from Washington, a receiver from Washington, who helped make that Washington offense just look spectacular. So you get Caleb Williams another weapon, as I said. So I think the pick is going to be Rome Aduzie with the ninth pick overall.
I like that pick. I really do.
All right. Jets up. Well, with Joe Alt off the board, I am gonna be. Hold on. Where is my stupid thing? Here we go. So I think with Jets, they're going either offensive line or Brock Bowers. And I feel like with this one, you got to max out with, especially you added Teron Smith in the offense on free agency, so it's kind of patchworking it right now. Got to get another guy with Garrett Wilson, spicing it. Bowers at 10.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So I will tell you that someone ruined my prize pick for the Minnesota Vikings by making that choice for the Atlanta Falcons. And
It wasn't mine.
when I think about the Minnesota Vikings, obviously I think about their pass rush, losing their top two sack leaders last year. And yeah, they got Jonathan Grenard, but you got to be able to still build on that. And the guy I'm going with Jared Verse. I know in more recent mock drafts that will be seen as kind of reaching and being too high, with him kind of being ranked in mid-teens, early 20s. But what I saw on film and all season, I mean, there's nothing this guy showed me that shows that he wasn't maybe the top pass rusher in his draft. And yeah, Dallas gets picked first, but Jared is a 1A, but I definitely wouldn't disrespect him by saying he's number 2. And so I'm going with Jared Verse with the 11th overall pick. We're trying to get that pass rush for our defensive coordinator who loves to put pressure on the quarterback, and hopefully we can have something to build on.
So it appears that me messing over everybody in the draft has finally caught up to me, because all of my picks for the Broncos have been taken now with Jared Verse off the board. But don't worry, I got an ace in the hole. Sean Payton has been raving about a quarterback this entire time, and I know they just got Zach Wilson, but don't worry about that. Zach Wilson needs some competition, baby. So we're going with another reach in this draft. Bo Nix. We're going with Bo Nix.
Well, screw you. You messed me over again.
Bro, I got to scroll for Bo Nix.
So, Raiders on the clock. There's been countless rumors of them wanting a quarterback. And at one point, this guy was rated as a first-round pick. In my opinion, he still is. I think the Raiders are going to go quarterback again, quote-unquote, the reach. I think the Raiders are going to pick Michael Penix Jr. with the 13th overall pick.
Damn, back to back, y'all killed me.
See, I could have did in the Raiders so bad. See, I was being nice. I could have.
So with the 13th overall pick, Las Vegas Raiders select Michael Penix Jr.
Okay.
All right, time for the fun one, guys. This mock draft, boy, I tell you what, it worked out perfect for the Saints. Get that guy, solidify that offensive line immediately. Taking second best tackle, in my opinion. Olu Fashanu. I think I said it right? Olu. I can't say it the first time. I'm
Just
so
say
sorry.
Olu.
Olu Fashanu.
Mm-hmm.
You are the new member of the New Orleans Saints. Brian Ranchek's got knee issues. I don't know what his status is going to be coming into next season. This class is tackle deep, and you might need a second one unless you want to stick with Trevor Penning, see what he got you in the second later on. But I think with the depth of pass catcher in wide receivers in the second round, you can solve that problem later on. Getting that tight end, getting that tackle to solve your issues right now. Priority 1.
Okay. Like that. Well, I had a lot of players on my big board for the Colts. I put 4 that I really wanted. Of the 4, 2 are gone. When I think about what I need, this is kind of a pick that I'm running to the commissioner and saying, "Hey, make this announcement now." And so, with the 15th overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts will be selecting Terrion Arnold, cornerback,
Ooh.
University of Alabama, Roll Tide. When I think about the needs of the Colts, obviously a good pass catcher would be great. Obviously, some more players on their defensive line would be great, but their defensive backs need work. I mean, Kenny Moore is the only guy we know about that's worth a damn, and he's a slot. And so having a guy like Terrion Arnold, who in my opinion is the most versatile defensive back in this draft. I mean, he can play outside, he can play in slot when needed. He can even go back to safety. Especially as he gets older and you want to transition him to another position. And more importantly, he's a guy that always finds himself around the ball. And so there's nothing better for a team with a young quarterback than a defense that has some guys that can take the ball away. And between Terrion Arnold and Kenny Moore, I think they're starting to build. They're going to start to build a defensive back group that's going to rival many in this league and could be top 2 or 3 by when it's all said and done. So.
Okay. Seahawks up on the board. Seahawks are another one of those little odd teams. I call them little tweener teams where, I'm not really too sure what they really want to do. I mean, they got new head coach, new DC, new OC, Ryan Grubb, who all of us here love so much. I can't say all of us, but me especially. Their right guard is on a 1-year deal. Don't know how confident they are in that guy. Seems like that's patchwork as well. Their D-line got some really great production in Jaron Reed, for example. So maybe they want to dip in the D-line again. They also have one of the fastest secondaries in the league, so you could do that again with Cooper DeJean and Queen Mitchell. But I think they invest in D-line again and go Leatu Leatu.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I like it.
Alrighty, so the Jags are on the board, and thinking about it 2 different ways. I mean, they could go either wide receiver or cornerback here. There's been murmurings of both, and I don't think the Jags thought this player would still be on the board at this time. I mean, yeah, Cooper DeJean's pretty good, but I mean, Quinyon Mitchell was getting Marshawn Lattimore comparison, so I think the Jaguars are going to go secondary here and take the best corner, in my opinion, in the draft, and Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo.
All right.
Like
I'm up. Cincinnati Bengals. Gotta get Joe Burrow some more protection, I think. I'm gonna be real. I could see this being another spot where they go and solidify the secondary, especially being in the AFC. But Byron Murphy's still sitting right there. Kind of hard to say no. Especially when they lost DJ Reader, I believe. He left. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get that D line set. I am so sorry this is taking forever. My keyboard is dead.
No, you were good. So you selecting Byron Murphy with 18?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that was going to be one of my splash picks with the Rams. But, sometimes you don't want to overreact. They did draft a guy last year to maybe kind of slide over into that Aaron Donald role. But when I think about the Rams, one of the things that they really struggled with was in their secondary. And so when you're thinking about a guy that can shut down one side of the field, it's not very common that a college cornerback does not get tested in college football because everybody gets thrown at. But that wasn't the case with another Alabama cornerback, Kool-Aid McKinstry. And so as I think about the players available on the board, obviously we can go somewhere, in the offense, but I think with some of the quarterbacks off the board, I'm not ready to take an offensive lineman here, but some of the guys that are off the board now, I'm going to go with Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of University of Alabama.
Ooh, trailing the Alabama guys.
Yeah.
So the Steelers up on the clock now. the Steelers, their run game leaves a lot to be desired, and they also just got a new quarterback in Russell Wilson. So, do you want to uh, help solidify the O line to help him out a little bit more and help out Najee Harris? And I think that's exactly what they want to do. Now, there are some guys on this board who I didn't think was going to be on this board. So because of that, I'm gonna go with Talise Fuagua. Thought he was going to be gone by now, but I think that's an excellent pick for them. He's pretty versatile, so they can really slide him in, keep him out, whatever they really want to do.
So the Dolphins are on the board, and we know they're an offensive powerhouse. They like to use a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, but they don't really have that third guy for them in the 3 wide receiver sets that they use. They got Cheetah, they got Jalen Waddle, but you need a third guy. And I think there was one that was really good down here in Baton Rouge that I think was underrated. I think the Dolphins are going to choose Brian Thomas Jr. with the 21st overall pick.
I like it. All right. Philly time. All right. I'm going to be real. Let me see if there's any Georgia Bulldogs I could take right now. JK, not going to actually do that now. So Fletcher Cox retired, but they got Jordan Davis. They got Jalen Carter. So I don't think they're going D-line. I could see offensive line, but I'm thinking, you know what? I feel like Philly might be the place they can do it. I mean, the medicals came back good on him. Showed out good in this pro day. Why not? Gonna go Cooper DeJean.
Okay.
Because I think they run more zone than man. Because they're changing up the defense now. Because the defense was terrible. Put him opposite Darius Slay. Could work.
Mm-hmm.
Or they go Wiggins.
Did you make your selection?
Yeah, I went
You went
DeJean.
with Cooper? Well, with the Vikings, my first pick was defense, going with Jared Verse. And honestly, with some of the top quarterbacks off the board, this would have been a perfect spot for Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr. But I do think they're a team that want to start to build a defensive identity, and so I want to double up on that. And so with pretty much the top cornerbacks off the board, I do want to go with Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. They have to shore up that secondary, 24th in pass defense last year. So now they've got a prize edge rusher and a prize player in the secondary, which are always recipes for success for a successful defense. So Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. Come on down to Minnesota, young man.
They got a full Clemson Tigers secondary or corner do it now because they have Andrew Booth up there too, I believe.
Yep.
So Cowboys up. Now the Cowboys have had some pretty big departures. Tyron Smith, Leighton Vander Esch due retirement, and Tony Pollard. They're a pretty well-rounded team. I don't necessarily think that they are a team that has to draft for need, which is always good in my opinion. So because of that, I'm going to go with a nice little reach here because I think they did it last year with Mozzie Smith. We're going to go Peyton Wilson, linebacker, to replace Leighton Vander Esch.
Okay.
I don't believe I passed him, but I'm not him. He's a linebacker, right? Pretty sure he is. There we go. Okay, so one problem with the ticker. Apparently, I have too many characters further to the bottom, so I'm going to start abbreviating teams.
That's fine.
Alrighty, so the Packers are on the board, and a lot of the top offensive linemen fell. David Bakhtiari is no longer there. You need someone to help protect Jordan Love. So to shore up their offensive line, you go out and get you a left tackle that was one of the best in the draft that has fallen, and that is Troy Fatanu out of Washington, who helped protect Michael Penix's left side. So they get the replacement for Bakhtiari.
All right, Bucks. They lost. What's his name? God, he used to give us hell. Shaq Barrett. I think they go pass rusher probably. But given how the board's gone, I don't really see one to go with. So I'm gonna go Jackson Power Johnson because that a-hole that Cam Jordan hates is retired with knee problems, and they need a center. So yeah, I believe that's Europe, Trey.
Yeah, I have the Arizona Cardinals, and clearly it seems that they are tied to Kyler Murray. And if you're going to be tied to Kyler Murray, you want to protect him. And this is a guy I did not think would be available, but everybody's going to think I'm a homer. But look, I get the best players available, and apparently, and the numbers say the best players go to the University of Alabama. And so to help Kyler Murray stay on his feet this year and not get injured, the Cardinals are going to select J.C. Latham out of the University of Alabama.
Okay. Now the Bills on the clock. Now I think this is also one of those no-brainer situations. You trade away Stephon Diggs, kind of leaving Josh Allen to die with no receiving core whatsoever. You got Dalton Kincaid, and you let Gabe Davis walk to the Jags. So I think they go receiver here, but I could also be a little spicy with it. Chop Robinson is on the board. Von Miller's getting old, and what other guy seems to be a little mini Von Miller than Chop Robinson? But I ain't going to do it. We're going to go with a Donnie Mitchell. We got to get the receiver.
I like it. That's my favorite wide receiver out of the top 3.
So the Detroit Lions very much improved this year, and since Dan Campbell took over, the one thing that I thought that they had issues with was the defensive line outside of Aiden Hutchinson, of course. I think they need to shore up the defensive line interiorly, and you have a very good tackle that has fallen in Johnny Newton from Illinois, and I think that Johnny Newton finally comes off the board to the Detroit Lions. Jazon Newton, who they call
Yeah, that's
Johnny
what I was
Newton.
like. I don't. I was like, he's saying. My bad.
On the spot.
All right, Ravens. The O-line sold. I'm not gonna lie, but I think they're gonna be one of the teams that probably signing MT. Could be looking at a veteran out of free agency after the draft. So Ronnie Stanley's knees might be cooked. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like this is a spot they go either Mims or Coleman. Gotta sum myself on either one. Yeah, I'm just gonna go give my boy Lamar some help.
Who'd you end up going with?
Amarius Mims from Georgia.
Okay. Well, it's my last pick of the first round. And when I think of a team like the 49ers, who seem like they don't need much of anything, they just kind of reload. Definitely offensive line is probably going to be something that they're really looking into. And if you want an offensive lineman that's probably projected to be a bona fide Hall of Famer, there's this university that goes by the name of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. And it's something in the water and how they build these guys. And I don't know how he's available, but I'm glad he is. Well, I won't be in real life if he's available for the 49ers, but I'm going to draft Tyler Guyton, tackle out of the University of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner.
Okay. Now we got the Kansas City Chiefs. I guess mystery relevant of the first round. I mean, it's the Chiefs, man. I mean, you win the Super Bowl. What more do you really need? But Travis Kelce looks like he's focusing a little too much on Taylor Swift right now. He's getting a little bit cooked. So, you don't want to pass the ball to MVS. Your boy Kadarius Toney. I think he's still there. Maybe, not too sure. They haven't signed Michael Thomas yet. So, receiver seems to be the big need because your number one receiver. Rashee Rice is your number one receiver, but he's going to be suspended a couple games. And then you got MVS if he's still there, and then you got what's that boy name? Kadarius Toney. What better pick than but Troy Franklin fell. But I think they try to go get Cooper Kupp Jr. get a nice little fundamental receiver in Lad McConkey.
There you go.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, well, so that's the full draft, and I'm only at pick 21 right now. Boo.
Man, I think that's a pretty good draft. Obviously, and I want to take some time as we kind of look at our picks. From y'all's perspective, who's a guy that you thought or that you think like, yeah, they got picked a little bit late. I think they'll be a little bit earlier, just kind of looking at our drafts.
I think J.C.
Definitely
Latham
Troy.
will get picked a little. Yeah, Troy would get picked earlier. I think Talise Fuego will get picked a little earlier.
It depends
Byron
on when
Murphy.
the quarterbacks go.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe the quarterbacks, I don't know, J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix, I feel like either will slide out or, I mean, odds are saying J.J.'s going first round. So, maybe he goes to that second Vikings pick. Who knows? But Tyler Guyton, he fell too. I was thinking about him to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is too self-absorbed with his McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, so he's going to be enamored with another linebacker like Peyton Wilson. So, yeah, I think this fell pretty nice though for the board.
Mm-hmm.
Very possible.
Mm-hmm. I think I kind of trolled a little too much with J.J. McCarthy, but it's all good.
But I mean, honestly, the way people are talking about JJ and how teams are looking, I mean, at this point, some people are saying that the Patriots might trade with the Vikings, so the Vikings go get JJ McCarthy. And I mean, I don't know what they see in him, but more power to their scouting department if they find some untapped potential that we weren't able to see in Ann Arbor all those years. But looking forward to it. I think I think the cornerbacks are always tricky because depending on the team, they always look for different things. Like for me personally, I always look for versatility in a cornerback, and y'all can blame Dennis Allen for that. Just somebody that, hey, you have to be able to play on all areas of the field because in this day and age, wide receivers, the top guys, they're operating in the slot. When you think of what some of the top guys are doing at the wide receiver position. And so if you, as a top corner, can't travel down there, you're not probably going to have much of a career, or at the very least, you better hope your slot corner is like that because it's going to, handcuff your defense a lot. I mean, I think we saw that in moments early in Sean's career, in Marshawn Lattimore's career, where whenever he went to the slot, you knew it was man coverage. And now kind of what they've built their defensive back group to be, you can maybe hide that a little bit more, especially if Alontae Taylor takes that leap. So,
well,
we keep talking about Alontae Taylor taking that leap for like 2 years now, man. Every year, Alontae, take the leap. I know, but man, they screwed him so bad with that slot move. I really hate that they did him like that. They did him so bad like that.
And he don't want to go to safety. That's the funny. Remember when somebody said he should move to safety? And he's like, nah.
Bro, he must to be so weak, bro. We don't need that.
Now, question. So based on our draft, we had 2 defensive tackles taken, Byron Murphy and Newton. Do you guys think that there might be a defensive tackle that we're not giving a lot of love to? Probably somebody that everybody's thinking, oh, they're going to be a day 2, a day 3 pick that might sneak their way into the first round.
Fisk.
There always is.
Fisk from Florida State. Definitely Fisk from Florida State.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, I know Cam Jordan was really hoping that we got him. He was saying, "Hey, I'd love to have that guy from Florida State." Now I don't know how fans would feel if the Saints took that reach at 14, but if they
no more reaching at 14, bro. No more reaching for D lineman at 14. We've already seen it. Don't do it. Stop it. Don't do it again.
Never know.
Now, lose the result. Okay, there we go. No, we don't want the ads. Go away.
Now, one thing I was surprised with our draft that isn't necessarily reflecting with a lot of the mock drafts that are out there was I think we were a little light on wide receiver in the first round. The way, folks are kind of talking about this wide receiver class, and you guys mentioned Troy Franklin. I know we got Ladd in there, we got Rome in there, we got Thomas Jr., but I thought maybe there were maybe a couple guys more that we probably like
Keon Coleman,
Xavier
Ricky Burns.
Worthy or Keon Coleman, guys that have kind of been talked about. But, and that's the thing. You never know. I mean, we kind of thought about the needs of the teams we were in charge of picking for. And that's just sometimes how it happens. I mean, we always hear about how great certain position groups are. And we end up seeing a guy that we thought was a first round pick and probably is a first round talent. They get picked in the third round and they get the ball out from there. But it's like, damn. And that's the kid that's in the green room the whole time, and you're starting to feel sorry for him. So, and speaking of which, I wanna lead that to my next question. Who's a player? And I'll start with Ace, Calvin, Logan. Who's a player that you think is probably going to be invited to the green room, and they're going to be forced to go back home because they didn't get drafted in that first round? Who's a player in your mind that might end up like that? And I'll start with you, Ace.
I gotta pull up the list on who got invited first. I don't know the whole list on top of my head. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, you're good.
And let's see. No, I don't care about the NBA draft. Come on, Google. All right, 4.0. That's okay. No, that's bro. Okay, only 13 prospects. It was kind of hard to say
Mm-hmm.
if there is going to be any that don't get invited.
Mm-hmm.
Only one I could possibly see. I think Darius Robinson probably does go first round, but he's maybe the only guy who probably doesn't get picked. If there's gonna be one guy who doesn't go first round, it'll be him.
Okay.
Because we all know May is gonna go first round. Marvinson, yeah, come on. It's like if you look at the list, it's kind of hard to say any of them don't.
Yeah.
They have to go back a second day.
I gotcha. What about you, Calvin? Who's a player that you think is probably getting a lot of first round hype, and they might end up falling pretty, into day 2, day 3?
Well, I'm gonna go with 3 guys. So obviously Darius Robinson, I gotta agree with that. Played against him personally, on my last year at Tech. I don't know, he's a good player, but I definitely feel like the way these DNs are going right now, I don't really see much room for him. So I put Chop Robinson above him, and I feel like teams would be more inclined to get him because of his 40 time. Keon Coleman, I think he's a big star in college, but I feel like he's going to fall more than what he wants to. Who's the guy that broke the record? Was it Xavier Worthy? Yeah,
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. I feel like he's going to have a situation where he's going to end up thinking that he's going to jump to the first round, kind of like John Ross did because he broke the record. But teams probably aren't going to fall for that much. There's a lot of bad things coming out about him in this draft process. So I feel like he might be one of those guys that's like, okay, I could be first round. I think a lot of teams, they're getting him mocked to them because of his speed. But I think he's going to be one of the situations like who was the Giants receiver they drafted last year that was like super super duper fast and just
Jalen Hyatt.
They just didn't produce. So I think teams are going to be looking like, okay, there was John Ross, there's Jalen Hyatt, so I think he's going to fall Xavier Worthy, Darius Robinson, and Keon Coleman. That's my guys.
And what about you, Logan? Who's some guys that you think might fall off despite having the hype of first round?
So everybody has already mentioned Darius Robinson, but I honestly think, and call me crazy, I think Cooper DeJean's going to fall outside of the first round. I mean, I'm all for getting another guy on this Rashard Mendenhall bowl team, but I think Cooper's going to fall. And then another one, surprisingly enough, I think Nate Wiggins slides just outside of that first round and gets to like maybe 30, 33, 34. But
Mhm.
other than that, I think it's going to be one of those three guys, and I would not be surprised if it was.
Yeah, I'm
So
definitely with you on.
less corners in the first round, you think, than what we have, Logan?
Uh, Surprise! It could be. I mean, I don't know if I would call Cooper or Nate Wiggins a reach, but
Mhm.
I think you can
Other
see.
positions go ahead of it.
I think you would. I think this is going to be an offensive heavy first round.
Yeah,
I think you're going to see a lot of defensive players slide into round two.
yeah, definitely. And I'm with you on that. I definitely think Cooper is a guy that might fall. Definitely versatile and what he can do. He can play inside, outside, safety, punt returner. Definitely could take the ball away. But at the end of the day, I mean, you played against or played with Iowa. We know that Big Ten, they're kind of allergic to offense. So that's why I'm really excited to have the Pac-12 transplants coming into the Big Ten. I can actually watch a game and maybe get excited for once. And so sometimes I think that overinflates maybe his impact a little bit based on the level of competition and him being hurt during the combine. Couldn't really see how he went up against some of his peers at his position. Um, I guess to pick on Big Ten guys even more, I think JJ McCarthy. I know what the hype is about, but when I look at JJ in my mind, I see Will Levis all over again of a guy that was being put in conversations that he shouldn't have been in. And I think that's kind of what they're doing with JJ. I don't know, maybe it's because he's a defending national champion. Um, and coming off or having the best winning percentage as a starting quarterback in college football history. Second to James Winston. Shout out to Jabu. Don't you say anything, Logan. Um,
Yeah, shout out James.
but I just don't see it. When I turn on the tape, I just don't see a guy that's making phenomenal plays. Even somebody like Stetson Bennett, who I guess we would consider a game manager for those back-to-back national title teams with UGA. I think there were moments where the defense said, Stetson, you have to beat us, and he rose to the occasion. And I just didn't really see that with JJ. Maybe it was a matter of they never had to, and that could be true too. Um, I think you know, obviously defensive guys are probably going to slide like to Logan's point, and so I could see maybe a couple of these cornerbacks sliding. I could see some of these edge rushers sliding. I mean, I know we're high on Dallas Turner and Jared Verse, but it's really kind of a gap once you get there with so much kind of the meat being in some of those middle rounds. So I'm really interested to see how they go. Obviously, in our draft, the offensive lineman fell really late. Maybe that could be us being right about something that the rest of the league hasn't caught up to yet. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of that dynamic of who goes for the trenches and who goes for the skill players in the quarterback position. So really excited about that. But
No running
last
backs taken.
question,
That's crazy.
last question before I get y'all out of here. A team that's not the Saints, because we're all Saints fans here. What is a team that you're excited to see kind of their draft this year? And Logan, I'll start with you.
Oddly enough, I think it's the team that's in our nation's capital. I mean, it's very intriguing where they go. You have a whole new ownership group. You have Adam Peters coming over from the 49ers as the general manager. You now have Dan Quinn as your head coach. Cliff Kingsbury's offensive coordinator. You have a plethora of cap space to work with. You have a plethora of draft picks. You have a chance to kind of right the ship in a manner of speaking. I mean, get the team back to maybe the RG3 days, maybe even a little bit before. Because I mean, prime RG3, they was in the playoffs. I don't. Last time they made the playoffs, they had Taylor Heineke as quarterback. So I mean, I know Ace drafted Drake May there, but I mean, Jane Daniels goes there. I think they're gonna build around him. You use all those picks to build around the franchise guy, and I really think a team I'm very interested to see what they do, and if they do it smartly, is the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Logan's a closeted Commanders fan, y'all. I want y'all to know that. He keeps talking about the Commanders all the time.
Well,
I guess
he'll
I guess.
probably stop talking about the Commanders if they actually draft Drake May. He'll probably stop
Well,
talking about
he'll
them,
be
and
he'll be
then
a
they'll be
Patriots fan. Then
basic.
that's what he'll be. He'll be a
But
Patriots fan.
Kelvin, what's the team you're kind of looking forward to seeing how their draft goes?
Well, for me personally, just off of like teams, I low key like I like the Lions on the slick. I want to see what they figure out, but purely because of my Saints fandom, I'm interested to see what the Broncos and the Vikings do because I feel like their drafts are going to directly affect what the Saints do. I feel like the Vikings and Broncos and the Saints are kind of all in a similar position, um, just in different ways. Um, I think all of them need a QB.
Yeah.
Whether or not all of them decide to do it, that's on them. I think all of them can go D line, and I
Hmm.
think all of them can go O line. And I think outside of the Vikings, they can also go tight end if Brock Bowers is there. So I feel like those three teams are, pretty close together in terms of needs and things like that. So Broncos and Vikings, that's what I like to see.
All right, and what about you, Ace?
I'm gonna be different, and I'm gonna take the one team that doesn't. Well, they're not the only team that doesn't have a first round pick, I believe, but they do not have a first round pick in the Houston Texans. You got
Hmm.
Stephon Diggs. I want to see how they build around CJ. They got to fix up that O line. Got to fix up the trenches a little bit more. They're gonna be competing with Mahomes, and you got to nail this draft to be able to compete toe to toe with the Chiefs if they want to compete in the AFC. So my eyes are on them. I want to see what the Jags do. This is Doug Peterson's last ride. He ain't getting another shot.
Yeah.
Got to see. I think the Chargers, especially, but how Greg Roman bringing in his Baltimore Raven type players and how he's going to be running that offense. I
Hmm.
would be shocked. Don't at me on this, but it would not surprise me if they go Brock Bowers at 5. I
Yeah.
just see it because
Yeah.
Greg Roman loves his tight ends.
It's
That's one of
true.
the other teams. Cardinals, they got 2 first round picks. I want to see how they build around Kyler. That'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all good teams. I know for me and kind of in Ace's frame of mind of kind of thinking about a team that doesn't have a first round pick. I'm interested to see what the Carolina Panthers do. To Calvin's point, kind of thinking about teams that what they decide to do having a direct effect on the Saints. I mean, Carolina is one of those teams. Obviously, had the first overall pick last year and gave a king's ransom for Bryce Young, and obviously this year is going to be about building around him. And it's one of those things where it's an arms race in the NFC South to see who can get better fast. And the Saints happen to be one of those teams that are in kind of quarterback limbo. Buccaneers seem to at least have a guy for now in Baker. Falcons have a guy for now in Kirk Cousins, and I would assume that they address the quarterback of the future in this draft as well, or at least bring somebody in. And so interested to see what Carolina does. They lost some good pieces as well. So do they kind of focus on building their defense back up? Do they focus on building around Bryce Young? I'm also interested to see what the Chicago Bears do. Obviously, we know what they're doing with the first overall pick, but with the ninth overall pick, there are so many things they can do with that. They can go pass catcher, as Logan ended up doing with Roman Duze. But they could also trade that pick for someone that's wanting to get maybe one of the top offensive linemen in this draft. Maybe they want to step in and get one of the better edge rushers like a Dallas Turner or Jared Verse before some of those teams in the outside the top 10 jump there. Maybe they want to come in and get one of the wide receivers, a la Buffalo Bills. So it's I'm really interested to see kind of what Chicago decides to do with that number 9 pick. And lastly, I would say just kind of thinking about, I mean, the Eagles, man, like they just seem to fucking win this shit every year. And I just want to see who they end up picking, man. Because I mean, they've probably won the last 3 drafts. They tend to win free agency, and it's boded well for them. And so as long as I don't see the Eagles have traded with the New Orleans Saints, I think I might be fine
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
not trying to become a victim again. But again, what how he does and how he runs his ship, I'm pretty sure they're going to get a player that can play right away and immediately be good because there's some magic sauce in that Philly organization right now. But Anyways, man, it was good having y'all. I appreciate y'all agreeing to do this. It was fun. I figured it would be, but I always want to have an opportunity to collaborate and just have a good time with some folks that just know ball and enjoy talking about it. So appreciate y'all's time. Again, Ace, appreciate you allowing us to
No
use
problem.
your platform to get this done. So as we end the show, like I always do, if there's anything that I've said or that we've said or with our picks that have offended you, it is a good thing. It is an opportunity for us to learn. It's an opportunity for you to teach us. All we ask is that you keep it respectful. Peace.